Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming to listen to these videos. I love you guys so much. Welcome to you all, wherever you are from, whatever your background is, whoever you are all welcome to this channel without any prejudice or discrimination. Please come on in, have a seat, and let's talk about this important topic. Now, this is a very important topic, at least to us Sufis, as spiritual Sufis. It's a very important topic to us. It has been inspired by one of our subscribers. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And it is to us Sufis, and I feel as to Muslims as a whole, it is a very important topic, okay? And that is, we will talk about the spirituality of cats and the cat symbolism and what that means, and the history of this in Islam itself, and the powers that cats have, and so on. Okay, now I can start by saying that ever since I was young and I grew up, and I obviously in Sufism we go and take the tariqah, or the way, or the path, or camino in Spanish, from a mullah or a sheikh, okay? And a sheikh who is seasoned, usually they know the Quran, they have an experience, been very experienced in life, they are extremely spiritual and powerful, and they are always related to the house of Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Almost always. I do not know of any Sufi Shaykh who does not descend from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the house of the Prophet. Now, alayhi wasallam, and Abraham, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, and so on. However, being a descendant of these houses and being a descendant of any Abrahamic lineage does not mean that a person is automatically good. It just means that this person is a descendant. Most of the time that you will find that these people are included in what Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God the Most High, has said in the Quran, that they are blessed and protected to an extent, okay? But it doesn't mean that they are all good, because in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says some of them are good, some of them are not good. Okay, and you have to discern, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the good, God the Most High to make me of the good ones, and to help me do my best and use me for His victory and not mine. Ameen ya Rab. So we have to be careful, even if we are a descendant. I know many of the people who listen to these channels are Sufis and also descendants of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the house of Abraham. Many of them are, but we have to watch our hearts even more than people who are not, because we have that DNA in our blood, and therefore we have to respect it, and we have to act accordingly. It's like, for example, because I have royal lineage from Morocco, for example. I have royal connections from France as well. So it doesn't mean because I am connected to royalty that I am a royal, and amazing, and you know, I'm better than anyone else. No. However, I act and behave so that I can keep the pride and the heritage and and to keep the spirits of my ancestors happy. And when I started doing my thing, and healing people and doing these things, I saw 4 kings. They came to me and they congratulated me before I even started a channel or anything like that. When I started my healing work, and I did it as a profession, and I did it, you know, the readings and so on, like reading people and healing people and doing that. I saw 4 kings from Morocco. They came and congratulated me, and I had never seen the kind of clothes that they were wearing. It was a very old costume, until I asked my mother, and she said that is how they used to dress. So we have to honor our ancestors. They are always around us, and the spirit never really dies. Okay. Now, in our sheikhs as Sufis, ever since I grew up, whenever I used to go and visit any of them, in their places where they used to gather people and teach the Quran and feed the poor and heal people and so on, and carry on the Sunnah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because Sufism started 200 years after Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed, before any other Islamic kind of school started of any other kind, which are all good. There is mercy in diversity. That no one is bad, no one is worse than the other, at least in our eyes. We accept everyone, but we try to follow the teachings of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as close as possible. Okay, so what I saw was whenever I used to go and visit the sheikh that I had my tariqah from, or I had my camino or way from, which is like you would say, other people in the West, they would say initiation or anointing. I went every time and I found countless cats there. I also used to see lights in the sky, like the ones that come around me now, and I never knew that a day would come that they would be around me. You know, at that time I was young, I didn't think I was going to amount to anything. So I was just used to go, but I saw a lot of cats there. So many cats, countless cats, okay? And most of them, the majority of them were black. We have in Islam a man called Abu Huraira, radiallahu anhu, who was a companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, or from the Sahaba, okay? From the close companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, Prophet Muhammad. He used to have a black cat, and it used to be on his shoulder all the time, everywhere he went. It would never leave him, and he would never leave the cat anywhere. Okay? And he would give it preference over himself. Like when he used to eat or drink, he used to feed the cat before he ate or drank. Okay? Especially after he became Muslim, that intensified even more. Because in Islam we have to look after animals, and animals can either put you in heaven or in hell. It doesn't matter what that animal is. As long as it's something that's alive, the way you treat it can put you in heaven or in Jahannam or in hell. Okay, that's what they say. And if you are seasoned in Islamic culture and lore, you will know the story about how Abu Huraira loved his cat and how much people used to adore that about him and respect him for it. You will also know another story about a woman that did not feed a cat, refused to feed a cat, and she trapped the cat in a room until the cat passed away. And you will know that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that woman was taken to hell without questioning. Okay, so it's very important to look after animals. You will also know the story about the dog and the man who was drunk, and he used to come back home to his wife every night, and she used to think to herself, this drunk, he's definitely going to end up in hell. Okay, and that's another lesson for us, not to judge anyone by anything they do. You have to love people unconditionally and not be judgmental. So, if I see a drunk person, I will kiss their hand. I don't judge anyone. Okay, and I look at the spirit. I look beyond all of these other things. Okay, that people judge people for just to feel better, and they will be asked about it on Yawm Qiyamah. Okay, so we have to be careful. So the dog, that man who was drunk, every time before he used to come to bed to his wife, he used to disappear for about 15 minutes. And his wife would be like, where is he? Where is he? He's probably going to get a drink. And then he comes back and he sleeps. And she never knew what he was doing. So, when the man passed away, they were walking to bury him. And Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in the group of people who were walking to bury him. And he was tiptoeing. So he was tiptoeing until he nearly was falling over. So of course the judgmental people thought he's tiptoeing because there's so many demons here. And then God protect us, we seek refuge in the Most High from demons and the devil and their games and illusions. But judgmental people who are probably going to end up in the place where they need to learn even more after they pass on, which is the lower vibrational place, which is known as hell, Jahannam, okay, were saying that he was tiptoeing because this was not a good place, because the man was a drunk. And then one of the Sahaba or the companions of the Prophet asked Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and he asked him and he said to him, why are you tiptoeing? And Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, I am tiptoeing because there's too many angels. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This story always makes me emotional. And after the man was buried, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lifted his head up and was looking at the sky like something passed over. And they asked him, why did you do that? He said, I could see him flying, he has wings. And all that man used to do was to take 5 minutes to feed the dog. He used to feed the dog with his shoe. He used to fill it with water. The dog would be thirsty. And he used to feed the dog. And these are the kinds of things that put people in Jannah. Not the big things that you think might put people in Jannah or in Jahannam or in anywhere. It's the small things. It's the softness and meekness of the heart that leads you to paradise. Okay? It is not the banners that people wave. Okay? And the only judge of anyone is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as you know that and love everyone unconditionally, then you are okay. Alright? Try not to judge as much as you can, because you will be judged. You will stand there and they will ask you, why did you think that about that person? Why did you do that about that person? Okay, I don't know why I'm saying this, but someone needs to hear it. Okay? So you better be careful so you don't end up in the lower vibrational place. And sometimes the punishment starts from dunya of people like this, and they find themselves with nothing. Okay? So we better be careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of people who take care of people and things and living things and others. Okay? Now, the darker the color of the cat, the more spiritually powerful it is considered by us. Black cats, black people and people with dark skin, there is something special about them, isn't there? So whenever you look at someone with darker skin or with a tan skin, I'm not saying white people are not blessed and good, but I'm just saying that dark people with black skin or dark skin, when you look at them, you feel like you're looking at least I feel like I'm looking at some kind of jewel or treasure. There's something special about them. Something special that is unshakable. Okay? So this dark color is the source of many blessings, especially when it comes to cats and to people and to even anything. The dark color has a lot of, all of, like, the negativity is absorbed by the dark color and distributed elsewhere. Black colors are protective to wear, and so are black cats. Okay? Now the cats, when they purr, the purring sound has a healing power. Okay? Cats symbolize the combination of tame and wild, and they symbolize to us Sufis the combination of physical and spiritual, which is harnessing the wild energy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created in the herbs and other things, and combining it with natural energy, and harnessing wild energy and natural energy. The cats have two sides, tame and wild, combining natural energy with prayer. When you combine both of these things, you find that things happen. That is why people since the beginning of time have worked with herbs and things and stuff like that, okay, to pray. And for example, the black seed to remove the evil eye, many people will know about that, but of course there's a lot of other knowledge or ilm batin which I'm giving you guys in this channel, and inshallah it will be helpful for many of you. An example of when cats were sacred to people was in ancient Egypt. Okay, and not all the pharaohs were bad. Ramses was bad. The Ramses that challenged Moses, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, was bad. Okay, but his wife Asiya, her name was Asiya, She was good. Of course, I have Egyptian and Sudanese blood as well as the French and the Moroccan and a few others. I'm not going to bore you guys, but we know that cats are special. There is a place in the northeastern part of Sudan near the border with the Red Sea. Cats over there can be 3 to 4 feet tall. There is a city there called Sawakin. When you fly over the city, it is in the shape of a pentagram. It is where the throne of Sayyidina Sulaiman or King Solomon in the Bible was, or at least one of his caliphates was based, a source of power. And there, people are blessed by the cats. The cat will come up to the person, and I have seen this with my own eyes because I've worked with the United Nations in East Africa a lot and I've been to many places. We would be eating in this restaurant and the cat would come to us and it would put its hand out like it's asking for money or for help. And we would feed it. And when we put the food in front of it, in front of the cat, it doesn't eat it. It looks at you and it bows its head. And then it eats. Okay? So the cats are very blessed. That kind of cat was the cat that was sacred to the ancient Egyptians, and they knew the spiritual power and the blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed within these creatures. Okay? There was an Egyptian energy called Bastet with the ancient Egyptians. Before Islam came, before Musa alayhi salam, before all of these prophets came, there was a woman called Bastet. She had the head of a cat, the actual head of a cat. And you find her drawn on all over the ancient Egyptian pyramids and stone. If you go to northern Sudan, which, by the way, the country of Sudan has many more pyramids than the country of Egypt. That's something that people don't know. But the country of Egypt is where that kingdom ended. The country of Sudan is Nubia, the north, and Luxor is where, and the south of Egypt is where the Nubian kingdom started. So in these places you'll find more pyramids than actually in Egypt, okay? Luxor is in Egypt, so they started around the city of Meroe in the north of Sudan, and cats were sacred to them. There are big cats in these places that actually are very intelligent, like the cat that I described that takes the food out and bows its head, puts its hand out. If you see that, you're probably going to run, because it's quite eerie. You know, me, I don't get scared of these things for some reason, and they always used to come around me and follow me, these cats. They can feel blessed energy or spiritual energy. Now, they were known to protect against evil ever since the time of the ancients, before the Abrahamic religions came. They are very powerful for protection against evil, and that is why Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu used to carry his cat, because he used to believe that she protected him from the evil eye, and he was correct. They take evil away. And I have told you guys about the story when something tried to attack me in my sleep a long time ago, before I had any protection when I was younger. And two cats jumped out of my body, 2 spirit cats. I saw them with my eyes. They snared at that thing, and then Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jailani radiallahu anhu came out of the wall on his prayer rug, which looked like a magic carpet. He was flying on it, and he had a rosary, or like sibha, what they call rosary, where he prays. He was holding it in his hand, and he chased. The cat snared at these 2 creatures until Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani came out of the wall and chased them into the cupboard. When he went into the cupboard, he went into it like a bullet. Okay, and the cats went in with him, and the cupboard shook. And when I got up to see, because it was something I thought I was hallucinating, and I looked at it, and I looked at the cupboard, and around the cupboard there was a crescent of dust. It had come out of the cupboard after this thing imploded inside the cupboard. It was amazing. So cats are powerful like that. I also have a client of mine, and I could see that she was going to pass on. And then, in her home, she has cats. And I didn't know what to tell her. So the cat when she was sitting with the cat in the evening one day, this client is in Saudi Arabia, and she was sitting in the evening with one of her cats, and then she saw the cat looking at the doorway and getting really frustrated and snaring at the doorway, okay, like making that sound that cats make, okay, and all of its hair would stand up. So she called me and she said, and then she had another cat, an orange male cat, and he left where she was. And that cat, I had a psychic connection with that client's cat. That cat would come to me in my dreams and tell me what's happening to that woman. And I would know what the problem was before she phoned me. The cat would tell me in the dream. Okay? So that cat had some kind of high spiritual nature that I still don't fully understand. But he used to come to me, and the funny thing is, whenever I used to dream of the cat, I always dream of people according to their spiritual stature. So if I dream of a person and they're looking at me from above me, that means that person is very high in his spiritual nature. Below me, that means that person has a lot of spiritual work to do so that they are up higher. On my level is someone who understands and is on the same level. Whenever I used to see that cat in the dreams, it was always elevated very high up and looking down at me. Okay, which was something that was very interesting. Okay, I don't claim to be better than the cat, and I don't claim to be better than anyone, and I don't think that anyone should look at themselves as whether they're better or worse than anyone. Okay, because we all are important to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No matter what our stature is, we still have our importance. So the cat used to tell me, so when the woman called me, she started to see this happen every day. I told her about the thing that I saw about her, and we could deal with it. Some kind of plague or something was coming to her to take her, and it would come in through the door, and the cat would snare at it, so it wasn't able to come to the woman. And when the woman phoned me, I could deal with that thing spiritually, and I held it down and I removed it for her. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, she's still alive. The cat that left, the orange cat, took a big part of that negativity with it. That woman had been targeted by someone else who's very spiritual but very evil, and they wanted to finish her. So the cat took away most of that negativity, and we took out the rest of it. Now the cats also, they are known to predict death. So they will go and stay next to the bed of a person who is near death and ill before they pass on, and that is something that is well known. Therefore, the cats are psychic, and they can help you open up your intuition and your psychic gift. My grandmother, she used to have cats come every afternoon and just rest next to her legs because of her kindness. They used to go between her legs and stuff like that, and she never used to move. She used to love it. And she would be wearing this long, flowing gown, and you'd see the cattails underneath it. And it was so funny. She was such a holy woman. She was also gifted with the gift of the sight, and she could heal people, and she was a very honorable, spiritual Muslim woman. And she was I saw her in Firdaus after she passed on, Alhamdulillah, and I talk about that in one of my other videos, the one about dragon's blood, if you want to go and watch that. So cats will feel if someone is good or bad, okay? The cats that she had were from different colors, black, Siamese, white, and so on. In this video, I'll talk about the black cat, and I'll also talk a bit about the Siamese cats, because Siamese cats are special as well. And because the subscriber who inspired me has a Siamese cat. So, this Siamese cat, when you look at it, the Siamese cats, when you look at them, their eyes look like jewels. Okay, they look like jewelry. Okay? They look like sapphire, many of them, blue sapphire. Very powerful. And sapphire is a Saturn stone. It is a stone that removes obstacles, so not everyone can wear it. So don't go and find sapphire before consulting with someone. If you want to ask me about it, it will change your life. Okay, but if you want to ask me about it with the reading, email me at QuranicVerses6@gmail.com so I can book you in, so we'll see if it's good for you or not good for you. Okay? So, having one of these Siamese cats protects one from danger. There is a story about Buddhists in the East, and they had a hoard of jewels, and there was a war going on. The Mongols invaded that town, and the cats guarded the wealth. They fought to the death, and the jewels were safe. So therefore, the cats from Siam are considered very powerful. You know, they have a pale coat, but their face is dark, and their tails are dark, and their paws are dark. Yeah, these cats also change color with the seasons. In hotter weather, they will be light-colored. In darker weather, they will be dark-colored. There's a story about a princess from Siam. They always have like kinky tails. Their tails are not straight. And there's a princess from Siam, and she wanted to bathe. So she took out her gold and she put it on the tail of the cat and went into a lake to bathe. It took her a while to come back, but the cat would not move. That was very early on in the days. When that princess came out, the princess of Siam, she came out and took the jewels off the tail of the cat. They were so heavy because they were gold, they kinked the tail of the cat. And that's the legend behind the tail. I only say legend to you guys because many people might not believe this, but I, from my spirituality, know that there is a strong element of truth to it. Our father Noah as well, peace and blessings be upon him, alayhi salam, it is said that cats are the first creature that he picked to go on the ship that he was told to build before the deluge or the floods. And there's also a funny story, I'll tell you about this in the end, about Noah's Ark and the cat. Okay, I'll tell you that in the end. So they know good and kind and will follow or warm up to such people. They also know evil energies and negative energies, and they will snare at them, and you will feel that the cats dislike them. Orange cats are usually male. There's something about genetics that makes them male. They have taught primitive humans about deeper spirituality. They are sacred to our mother Eve. They are sacred to the Ethiopian princess that I told you protected me. She has passed on now, but she was a princess. She was born in a church in Addis Ababa. And she is a princess that protected me since a young age because of my heritage. Obviously, if I have from Sudan, I also have from Ethiopia and Egypt. That all used to be one country in the past. It was segregated by colonialists, but it used to be one country, the country of Abyssinia. So they are sacred to this princess, the princess that has the green eyes that I talked about in my last video about the green eyes. They are also sacred to any kind of creation, okay, or any kind of thing that it comes new. Okay, they are sacred. They protect new things, okay, and they protect young children, okay. In our big house, when I was younger, we had so many, like I said, and they used to be under my grandma's feet most of the time, and they used to warm up to certain people, and other people they would avoid them. But they used to, one time, there was a snake that wanted to attack one of my little cousins, and in the middle of the night, his mother had given birth to him like a few days ago, and she was sleeping with him in a room. That is the baby's room. Like any one of the women that were in that household would go to sleep in that room. It's very special, very clean, very sterile, and so on. And they would accept visitors in them sometimes, and so on. So she slept in that room and left him in the cot. And we had a lot of grounds, like a lot of gardens and grounds. So there was a snake that came in and went into the cot to do something to the baby. It could feel the energy of the baby. You know, I'm telling you this, I'm shaking now because I can't imagine anything happening to my cousin. So then, the cat came and in the night, and we just heard something screech. Well, I was sleeping on the floor. As kids, there's a new baby, we used to go sleep on the floor. And you know, we would be all around that place. So I was sleeping on the floor, and then we heard something screech, and then the mother of the child screamed in the middle of the night. She woke the whole villa up. It's like a huge compound, and there's huge gardens. And we all ran in. We found the cat on the cot with the snake split in half. And she was standing on that cot like she was the baby's mother. Okay? And that was something that I will never forget. So they are very powerful protectors. That snake apparently was a spiritual thing that was sent by someone who was jealous of the mother. She was very beautiful, and she always used to have babies, and she has like 11 children or 100 children, like they say. So she has so many kids. Someone envy or jealousy, I don't know, it was a witch, they said. Anyway, the cat killed the snake. And the funny story about Noah's Ark is that one of the first things that he picked was the cat, and the cat was Siamese that he picked, and the cat fell in love with a lion, and they gave birth to a monkey. And that's why monkeys have light hair and dark faces and dark hands and feet. That's just a funny story that someone told me, okay? So look after your cats, you guys. Any cat you see, look after it. Black cats are very special. In France, where part of my ancestry comes from, they believe that cats can bless someone. A black cat especially, it can bless a farmer's crops, especially if they treat it well. If they don't treat it well, it can destroy the luck of that farmer and make him lose his crops. Okay? And that is also believed in East and North Africa, and in Egypt to this day, that if you treat cats, you don't mess with cats. Okay? And older people in our generations, my grandmother, for example, my granddad, they would get flustered and distraught if a child did something to a cat. Okay? Never ever, we never ever used to harm the cats, because we knew that there was something very special about them. And to us Sufis, they are very special. That is all I have for you guys tonight. I hope this has helped you guys. Look after your cats, look after your animals, look after creatures, look after nature. Okay, because God the Most High really created them for a reason. They are here to help us and assist us and stand by us, and we are all connected to them, and they are connected to us. We are here to look over, we are the kings of the earth, or the queens of the earth. We have been put here for a reason, to look after it and not to destroy it. So if there's any message you've taken from here today, please look after your animals and your cats, and be kind, and please know that your efforts with these cats or animals or even plants or anything living or anything that's not living, anything you look after, even things that are made out of rock, okay, anything you look after, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks after you because of it. Okay, God bless you all, Allah hafazkum, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you all with health, wealth, love and happiness and protection beyond your wildest dreams. May you all have the gift of the sight in a good way if you wish so, and may you all be accepted and loved wherever you go. We love you here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys in your next video. Fi amanillah. God bless you all. Thank you.